Rooney. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a scene for Living World of Darkness Werewolf venue. Chino, the badass, the one that's walking around like literally Scarface right now, um, is doing his rite of passage. He is becoming part of the nation. He is doing the damn thing. And it has been a winding, perilous road, but it feels like it's all coming to a head right now. And Chino, when you awake a few days later, um, two your kinfolk show up at your door.
All right. I guess he'll be staying at one of the gang houses or something while he's doing this. It's just a place to sleep. Uh, Sup, me?
All right, Bobby. See, we went by to do rounds, right? And
Mm-hmm.
right over there, you see the I don't know when it happened, Holmes, but the the place is boarded up now.
Hmm.
It was like really random. As like everything was pretty legit yesterday, then they all leave. Like we came by, we look in, it's boarded up.
Nobody come and go.
It's well, by the time we got there, they were all gone. But
Hmm.
I did find something that was interesting though. Um, Me and Oze, we was able to catch one of them leaving or going to a certain place, right?
Okay.
And we got him stashed though. So if you wanna like holler, you can.
Let's go.
All right.
Get the
So
bag.
they're pretty much systematic. Comes with a bag. Um, it seems like from the last encounter, like some of your kinfolk are a little grizzled. Like they're kind of, it's kind of like fuck it. They have like the fuck it mentality now.
Imagine that.
Um, one of the things you might notice is that few of them have developed a habit. Um, Jose and Marcusio are they smell faintly of vodka,
Okay.
and you go in towards the car. It's like parked. It's like a few blocks away in like an alley. Um, there's another guy in the front seat, and it seems that they have. When you look towards the back of the car, you'll see that Felipe, the guy in the front seat is Felipe, is giving him some coke, and he is kind of like sitting there drugged in the back with like his eyes sort of dilated,
Uh-huh.
and he's laughing with him, but this is a little not weird, but yeah, we'll say for the purposes of the scene, it's towards the evening.
Okay. Chino will go up to the car and kind of look in there, take in what's going on, and he's going to slide in the back seat with the guy.
At that point, with the tinted windows, Felipe will turn off the car, roll up the windows, and step out of the car. And he's looking at you. His eyes kind of glazed. He has like the head swirl going. Hey, what up?
What's up? Is he street, or is he? No, obviously not.
He is not educated.
Okay.
He is very street.
Okay. How you doing? You
Good.
enjoying the powder, huh?
It's, as he starts beating his chest as he kind of sits up in upright position. Yeah.
Mm. So, you work for the club, yeah?
Yeah.
How long
Fuck.
you work there, yo?
What? A few weeks.
Oh, cool. They good to you?
Yeah. I
Good.
get free blowjob from the bitches that work there. So.
Oh, hey, you can't beat free blowjob. So, where'd they go? That like my favorite club.
Oh fuck. You see right here though. He kind of reels back and then snorts, and then there's a stream of blood as the blood vessels in his nose break. As it feels like he is something is happening. How much medicine does Chino have?
Uh, oh shit. I guess I should have my character sheet open.
Probably.
One or two. It's at least one I know of.
All right.
I'm thinking one. I took one because I took a class.
Took a class.
Yeah.
General health class
Yeah.
at the community center. Got you.
Yeah, this was at NYU. Medicine one
Fair
and
enough.
science one.
All right. So you understand what's your science specialty?
Does not have one yet.
All right.
It's probably going to be something involving narcotics. Go figure.
Narcotics. So he is he might have slightly overdosed. Not too sure. Might have.
Okay. Tina's gonna kind of grab the guy by the front of the shirt. Kind of like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Chill out. Calm down. Holy shit, you're gonna kill yourself. He like grabs a rag off the floor and like starts helping the guy get the blood,
And,
under control and everything.
He, while he's talking to you, he looks at you, right?
Uh-huh.
And make me a perception awareness.
Perception awareness. Ooh. Okay. Come on, Dice Stream, work today. There we go. Can you see dice today?
No.
Crap.
Which
I have 2 9s and an 8.
2 9s and 8. All right, cool. So with that, you understand that something is a little off about this guy. That while he is talking to you, you kind of see the pupils in his eyes sort of dilate. And as this is happening, there is with your dots in medicine, you understand when something's not exactly right. You see on his chest, you see like rumbling. When I say rumbling, you see like lesions appearing. And it seems like almost in that cartoonish sort of way, the ripples in his body start to move in turn.
All right, it's time to. You just wanted to start fighting right away, didn't you? You just had to go.
Oh no, it's more than that, bro.
Okay. Cheeto's gonna kind of push him away. Like, what the what the fuck, yo, you okay? What the hell's going on? He's gonna kind of, but he's obviously getting away. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
He's gonna push the guy to the other side of the car. Um,
As you push him away, right?
uh,
Um, you'll notice that as you push him away,
mhm,
there is something as you touch his arm, like to
mhm,
like shove him,
mhm.
um your hand kind of goes into him like a divot, like you like soft mud, and
Okay.
there's like an imprint, right?
Uh-huh.
It doesn't look like he's become hostile.
Uh-huh.
It just looks like there's something off about him. Extremely off.
Okay. Chino's gonna look at him. What the fuck is wrong with you, yo? Look at your arm.
He'll look back and as he kind of starts un make me another perception medicine.
Okay. A 10, a 7, and a 3.
You look at his arm and almost Frankensteinish. You see stitches along the left side of his arm that something's kind of moving inside of it, and you see him dig his hands into like the incisions, right? And he'll start like digging into the muscles and sinew in his arm, literally pulling out chunks of his arm.
She's like, what the fuck are you doing? You crazy, yo?
And as this is happening, as he's taking out chunks and sinew, he will dig his hands inside it and get a liberal coating of blood and start marking the side of the window.
Like, is he writing?
Yes,
Is it English?
yes. You can make it out roughly
Okay.
as an address.
Okay.
And as he does that, he says, I just wanted to be free. And he starts literally, he goes for the jugular, sticks in, as he grabs something out, it looks like a razor, like out of the incision in his left arm,
Hmm.
digs in to the side of his neck, catching the jugular, pushing in, and makes a nice rigid cut through his neck
Hmm.
as he just kind of chokes on his own blood.
Hmm.
And then after 1 minute, what's Chino doing now?
Chino he has pushed himself away from the guy all the way against the door, the opposite door.
Hmm.
Um, the guy's killing himself, at least from what Chino can tell. Um, Chino kind of looks at the guy and he'll kind of lunge over and he'll point at the address on the window and go, "This is where they went."
And there's a slight nod as like the rumbling and the contusions in his chest and in his stomach begin to ripple once more. And please make me a Dex Athletics check.
Okay.
+2 difficulty.
Athletics. There we go. 9, 4, 9, 3, 5, 8. So 3,
1. So
1. Okay.
um as this happens,
Mhm.
please, his body kind of expands a bit,
Okay.
almost as
If it
some.
looks like he's gonna explode, Chino's gonna, get away from him. as best he can. Try to get out of that car, really. He can explode all over the inside of that car if he wants to.
All right, so he kind of expands a bit. Chino noticing this. You kind of hit the door with like all of your weight. And you fly out of the car and
slam the door back, not leaving it open.
As you kind of push yourself back, he kind of, a black sludge kind of explodes from him.
Is it the same black sludge I remember from earlier?
Yes.
Ugh.
And it hits you, but it's not like that full contact off it. Take 1 point back. As
unsoakable or soak it?
What form are you in? And that is
Hamid.
You can't soak Guggenheim.
Oh, okay, that's right. You're right.
And
take us a yuck.
Okay. And though I will allow you to shift, to like reflexively shift if you want to get rid of that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll spend a rage to shift to Glabro.
Sweet. So there is a black viscous goo in the car.
All right.
And when it explodes, you see what looks to be a sun. That's about it.
A sun, like the sun, like that rises in the morning and sets at night.
Yes.
So there's like a bright light in the car, or is it like
a bright light in the car? It's just like the way it exploded. It's like
it's in that pattern.
It's in that pattern.
I gotcha. Okay. Is it eating through the seats in the car?
Yes.
Ugh. All right. Chino did get to look at the address before this happened, correct?
Correct.
Okay, he has eidetic memory.
I was taking that into account.
Okay, just making sure. So it explodes like a yuck. Okay.
If you've ever played Diablo 3.
Like
the big like fat monsters that walk around shambling, kind of like that, like a pop.
Chino looks at the guy whose car that is, and he kind of shakes his head, and he's like,
They're vomiting profusely.
Yeah.
All of that lunch on the floor.
Chino frowns. Well, that's what happened when you play with the worm. He looks over at one of the guys. He'll walk over to him, and he kind of pats him on the back, waiting for him to finish.
It's about maybe a good 5 minutes before he stops like lurching.
Yep. You okay? You done?
Spits. I'm good.
Okay. You got AAA?
Nods. What the fuck are we going to tell the AAA? What the fuck is this? He looks at you.
Somebody threw acid in your car. Chino walks over and smashes the front window. Somebody thought they were funny. They threw acid in your car. Get AAA to tow it. Get AAA to tow it. Then make sure nobody touches it and burn the fucker to the axles.
Shakes his head, taking your information. The other kinfolk standing next to him pulls out his phone, starts dialing numbers. The other one, so there's 3 of kinfolk are with you, takes out some Pepto-Bismol. Seems like he needed it, and starts passing it around.
Yeah, he looks at the guy. He looks at the guy beside him. He's like, "Look, nobody touches any of that black shit. Okay, nobody gets in that fucking car. Burn it to the fucking axles. You hear me?"
Shakes his head. Reaches into his reaches into his knapsack, brings out 2 bottles of tequila, starts dousing it, in the car, like basically like chucking it,
Yeah.
and Alden kind of throws a match,
Yeah.
and it's just like we need to leave now.
We've done this shit before.
Yeah.
um, before they, well, no, it's okay. All right. So, as they're leaving, Chino's going to get on his phone. First thing he's going to do is he's going to pull up Google Maps and find out where this address is.
Oddly enough, you pull up the map, right? And it is an abandoned part of Brooklyn. And strictly impoverished, where this particular apartment complex, as you pull it up, is like abandoned now, and there's like signs that said "Do not enter" and yada yada boop boop. And please roll for me intelligence streetwise.
Intelligent Streetwise, okay. 963.
You understand that this is this is the middle point between the Latin Kings and another gang,
Okay.
if it can be called that. It's more of, it's not as established as Latin Kings with like an established hierarchy. This is
Okay.
more of a bare bones, this kind of what we call them in New York, like quarter water, like gangs and shit, like that really don't do shit. Um, it's basically talk shit gangsters, and
Guys who like to wear matching jackets.
exactly,
Mhm.
and through the grapevine that there is a feud, if you can call it a feud. Yeah, there's a beef happening in that area.
Between those two?
Yeah.
Mm. Do I know where the... I don't want to get met. All right. He'll get on the phone. He'll make some calls, get some kinfolk to get eyes on that place. Start watching it. Start sending him intel, like who's there, what's there, is there anybody there? Is this another warehouse situation where we got guys with AKs standing out front?
Well, in this situation, they almost immediately they come back that this place is glowing with neon paint, and there are it looks boarded up, but there is it seems to be a type of a fog. They really can't describe it correctly, but there is a type of a fog that is like emanating from the place.
Fog. Okay.
It's giving almost to the point where this particular side of the neighborhood almost has a hazy atmosphere.
So are there people walking through this fog? Like normal people?
When
Or
I
is there
say
nobody around?
there's no one around.
There's no one around.
Like they say that one of the things you'll remark is that a family was like starting to walk towards like the area. But when they started to walk towards it, like they like turned around. not like almost robotically. It was just like they backed away from it. It was like one of the gentlemen started looking, and then he just said, and then
Okay. Hmm.
like his wife was giving him a bit of a problem. I was like, "This quickest way to my apartment." No, no, no. So it's like, I want to live. Fuck you. And it's like this whole thing.
No, I want to live. Okay. All right. How long is it going to take to get there? I guess we'll have to call for a different car and then have them
Well,
take us
yeah,
over there.
because this one is now like on
It's
fire.
now, yeah, it's a pyre.
um, yeah, yeah, you could get a car easily.
Okay. All right. We'll get over there. Is there a place where I can get to where I can see this place and not be in this fog?
Um, when you approach this place,
Mhm.
um, you feel kind of fuzzy in the head. Kind of the type of
Mhm.
fuzzy where you feel you want to sleep and
Mhm.
you have a slight headache
And this is before I get anywhere near the fog?
before you get anywhere near the fog.
Oh, shit. Okay. Um, hmm. That doesn't sound good. Okay. Again, I'm going to try to get to, like, so I just feel sleepy. Are the guys in the car
They
feeling that
seem
way?
fine.
I'm sorry?
They seem fine.
They seem fine.
Doing typical, shit, smoking Newports.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's, I'll have them park someplace where I'm not in the fog, but I can hopefully at least see this place.
Okay. You can see this place and you see like the green light because it's coming through the fog, right?
Hmm. So not only is it, so they've spray painted the entire building with neon paint, or is it like
You're
symbols, or is it
you're seeing symbols.
symbols? Okay. Do I recognize any of it? Is it gang symbols? Or is it like arcane bullshit?
How much occult do you have?
Yeah, that much.
Exactly.
Um, but I'm just saying, but I do have rituals one.
All right. Uh, what's your streetwise at?
One.
All right. Um, with streetwise and your rituals, right? You
Mm-hmm.
understand. You know what a sigil looks like. You've seen
Yep.
them before.
Yep.
It's kind of graffiti sigil shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like as you start like shaking your head, like fuck, like Olaf said, fuck, what? As you're like looking at it and like you're racking your brain about it, it's almost as if the longer you stare at it,
Mm-hmm.
the the more disturbed you are by it. Like you're getting goosebumps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Again, kind of like with the warehouse, going to enter a building and get up to a place where, again, I'm kind of high, so I can kind of see the layout of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Getting an eye, are there guys standing outside with guns or anything like that?
No.
Nothing outside. Okay, just the fog and the spray paint.
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna walk back downstairs and grab the rearview mirror out of the car, take it back upstairs with me into a room, and take my time with the new rules and slide across.
All right.
Because I got to look at this place on the other side because it's got to be freaking spectacular.
All right. I have something I want to show. This works. Not saved. Right. There we go. All right. So,
I have that picture on my computer.
so
Ah.
as you step sideways and you take your time, right?
Mhm.
You see this whole place is lit up bright, neon light, fluorescent. Everything is glowing,
Mhm.
and you see a few. They look almost like seeds, almost
Mhm.
seeds with like tentacles sprouting from them every so often, as they kind of move and vibrate to an unknown beat.
Mhm.
Um, do you have any worm lore, anything like that?
No.
Oh,
Mm.
that's all right. So,
No.
oh, so
No.
that this will be interesting. Um, as they start swaying to an unknown beat,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's what you see.
So I see this guy.
You see what looks to be this gentleman, right?
Uh huh.
Um, he's smoking a cigarette,
Uh huh.
and he looks at you, and that painted on skull that's on his mouth spreads wide. It's an odd, it is an odd smile as he is showing entirely too much teeth.
Of course. Mhm.
And when you look at him, you almost feel you feel like this fear come on you,
Mhm.
and as you, it's not because you're like a distance away.
Mhm.
The wolf inside of you feels increasingly more nervous.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not sure if Chino has ever felt fear, but
Not like this.
you feel like his asshole clenches a little bit.
Uh huh. And this guy's looking at me. He can obviously see me.
He's looking at you, and then kind of vanishes.
vanishes like somebody who stepped sideways?
A little bit.
Okay.
Exactly like that, actually.
Okay. I was gonna say because
Yes.
seen it. So, um, anything else in the Umbra? Are there Banes here?
Um, you can. What's your spirit lore?
Ha!
Right. So, baby.
Okay. Okay. Are
It's
there
a
things
spirit.
moving around? What I'm asking is, are there things moving around and stuff?
The seeds that are like wrapped around the building a
The
bit.
seeds. Gotcha. I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay.
But other than that, I mean, there are spirits around, but you're not too sure what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. All right. When I'm in the Umbra, do I still feel that lethargy, that sleepiness?
The lethargy that you're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
you start getting like you had a slight headache before.
Mm-hmm.
It is now a noticeable headache.
Okay. Okay. So it's worse in the Umbra.
A little bit. It's
Okay.
more intense.
I got you. All right. Uh, Taking note of everything that he's seen, he will do his usual way of crossing back across the Umbra, just
Hmm.
for you.
Love it.
'Cause you love
Love
it.
it.
Um, he will, urinate on the ground, use the reflection to slide back across, taking his time.
Okay.
Um, as he comes back across, he he looks at the kin that are with him.
Hmm.
Now you can't see those pod things in the real world, right? They're just
Nope. They
I can only
cancel.
see them in the Umbra, and they're were they inside the walls or were they outside the walls, or
Inside the
were they
wall.
the walls?
Inside the walls.
Inside the walls. Okay. Okay. Hmm. All right. He's gonna look at the kin that are with him. Let's see. Hmm. All right. And he's going to go tell them to get every kin. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what that smoke does to people, so I'm not gonna chance it. Um, he's gonna tell him, stay out of the smoke. Don't go anywhere near that fog. Okay, hold this area around the edge of the fog. Um, but don't let anybody go in it. That includes regular people if you can. If it's a cop or whatever and they want to go in there, it's their funeral. But you tried. Because we don't know what that shit does to people. We just know it's bad. He's going to look at another one and tell him he's going to describe everything that he saw on, and this is a knowledgeable kin. He's going to get a kin that knows shit, so he's not fucking up. If you understand what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
He's going to explain everything that he's seen, everything that he's done, and he's going to tell him to go find Katori and tell him if he doesn't come out.
He'll not.
All right?
Hmm.
He's going to grab another one. Chances of a Army Navy store open this time of night.
Okay.
Is there what's a good, is there an Army Navy store that might be open this time of night?
Roll me a fate test.
Sure. It's a null. It's a nothing.
Not tonight.
Okay. Um, Are there gas masks in the Sept Armory? I know of one that should still be there, unless Ren kept it for herself. Because it belonged to Zeke.
For the moment, I see that MA is online. I could ask, but for the purposes of the scene, let's just say no.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. Okay. To try to lessen the effects of the... Chino's assuming this is some kind of gas or something that's going to affect him negatively.
Right.
So he's going to take... he's going to grab a bandana from one of his guys, and he's going to take a piece of cotton cloth. He's going to find somebody who's wearing a shirt that's made out of cotton around him. He's going to take their shirt. He's going to wad it up. He's going to dunk it in water, and he's going to wad it up and put it over his mouth, and he's going to take a bandana and secure it to his mouth and nose to try to lessen the effects of this. That's as good a makeshift thing that he can do at this point. He's got his hoodie on. He's going to see if anybody's got a knife. They're all gang members. Somebody's got a freaking knife. He's going to take a knife and stick it in his pocket just in case he needs it. He's going to shift to Glabro.
Okay.
Because he's got a hoodie on. So, should be cool. He's going to real quick check with the kin that he's got around the perimeter and find out, are there cameras pointed at this place? Do they seem to be on?
They seem to be malfunctioning. It's a general response you get.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So the worm took care of that for me. How nice of them. All right. And then Chino's going to try to sneak in this place. Access points for this place. Does it have windows? Does it have a rooftop entrance? Does it have... Obviously, it's got a front door, but I don't want to go through there. I'm looking for a place that looks like, a side door, something like that.
All right. There's a roof entrance.
Okay. Fire escape?
It's like, there's ventilation coming out where, the ventilation thing on top of like industrial buildings to make sure that there's circulation in the building.
Sure.
It's one of those.
Okay. Fire escape to get to the roof?
Because of regular New York law, most apartment buildings have to have fire escape.
Okay. All right. Chino's going to make his way. He's going to hesitantly enter that fog, ready I guess you'd say he's going to try to see what it's going to do to him. I guess you'd say.
All right.
He's going to get close enough to where, and he's going to kind of pause for a minute to see if he can sense anything. If he senses it fucking with him, he's going to immediately back out of it.
All right. As you approach the fog, right? All of your hair starts to go on edge. You feel something's welling up inside of you. and you feel for the first time in your life you feel like you want to run.
As in, like it's a
You're not close enough, but you feel like if you keep pushing, since you said you were going hesitantly,
mhm.
um, something will happen.
Okay. All right. He's gonna back out. He's gonna walk over to an alley. He's gonna squat down.
Okay.
He's gonna sit in the darkness for a minute. He's gonna close his eyes, and he's gonna think about everything that has happened to him
Mhm.
since he changed. Um, he's gonna think about uh, his family, the kin that he lost, the eye that he lost. Um, basically, he is centering his resolve. If you understand what I mean when I say that.
Yes.
Okay. Um, he's going to take a good 5 minutes to do that. He's going to open his eyes, and he's going to go to that building, and he's going to go in that building. At least that's what is in his head.
Okay.
Okay. And he's going to handle whatever's in there. So he's walking towards that whatever door it is, side door, whatever that's there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Whatever is on the, when he gets to the door, if he makes it to the door, he's going to look. He's going to see if there's a camera or anything like that facing the door. If there is, he's going to, pop it. He'll just knock it to the side.
You see that it's kind of malfunctioning. It's kind of sparking a bit.
Okay. Then he won't worry about it. He's going to look at the door handle. He will. He's going to try to be as stealthily as possible, but he knows they probably already know he's here. But he's still going to try.
Okay.
So he's going to open the door as carefully as he can. He's not going to yank it open. He's going to open it. He's going to turn the handle for a minute, and he's going to slowly open it. And he's looking. Not only is he looking to see if there's anybody on the other side, but he's looking to see if there's a tripwire, if there's anything there, if there's an alarm that immediately starts blaring. That kind of stuff.
You open the door. Please make for me a Fox Frenzy.
Okay. What's the roll for Fox Frenzy?
Straight up rage.
Straight up rage. Okay.
Tell me if you get how many successes?
What's his current? What's the moon? What's his current target number? I have a 3, a 4, a 3, a 5, and a 2.
You're fine.
Okay.
There's still the feeling of you wanting to bolt and run, but it is not like overwhelming all of your senses.
Okay. He frowns deeply, kind of almost upset with himself for thinking of running. He'll close his eyes and center his resolve again, and then he'll enter the building.
You enter the building, right? And have you ever had a migraine?
I have, unfortunately.
It hits Chino like a brick. As he goes in, he hits him like a brick. As his feels like his head is about to split open. And you feel almost disembodied,
Okay.
as you feel almost really, really confused
Hmm.
and disoriented.
Hmm.
For the purposes of the scene, you are at a +2 diff to primal urge.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. He's because he feels all this stuff. He's not going to rush, but at the same time, he's not going to fuck around. Um, it's obvious to him he needs to find out what the fuck is causing this and stop it.
Okay.
Um, so he recalls where he saw those things in the
Mhm.
Umbra, and he's going to try to find them in the real world.
Okay.
He will start there. Obviously, if he runs into something else along the way, then what have you. But he's going to try to find the way to where those pods were,
Okay.
assuming that, it's his assumption. It may be wrong, but that he's, that's probably, those probably aren't good things, and he needs to take care of them.
Okay. As you start, you know, searching for these pods, right? Um, you can see inside. The fog is still there, but it's one of that. It's like that hazy mist that's kind of in your head, as well as kind of floating around as you kind of make your way in. Um, you notice that make me a perception alertness or primal urge.
Okay. 8665.
8665. One success. All right.
Okay.
So you hear distinctly the sound of running water.
Mm-hmm. Like in the walls, or
In the walls. It's kind of echoing around him.
okay. Does it sound like it's coming from a certain source?
Deeper in.
Deeper in. Okay. All right. Then he will move towards that.
Okay.
Again, he's moving quietly as possible, but also he's moving. He's not fucking around. He's moving.
All right. If you're trying to move quietly, make me a deck stealth.
Okay. All right. Okay. Nope, he's not being stealthy. He has an 8, 2 1s, and 2 5s. So I think that's a botch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as you move through the hall, you think you're being quiet,
Mm-hmm.
but perhaps it's the mist and the fog,
Mm-hmm.
like you are kicking literally everything. It's like dun dun dun
Yeah.
dun,
Yeah.
and when you make your way towards, you hear this cackling
Mm-hmm.
and almost like hyenas.
Mm-hmm.
And some apparently somebody did something that was extremely fucking funny.
Mm.
And
I got a feeling who.
as you make your way closer, you see this guy
Uh huh.
in the room.
So am I kind of walking out from a tunnel into a larger room?
Yes, you're walking into a
Okay.
tunnel, into a larger room.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
you notice when you walk in, you see Latin kings in the room, right? They are suspended upside down,
Huh.
and their backs have been cut open,
Uh huh.
And they're, you know how in slaughterhouses, they kind of have to hang the animal upside down to get the blood out.
Sure.
That is what's happening. And you
Okay.
see this guy, and he looks to be, oh, he's holding a heavy chain in his hands,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a seat. And in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of all of this happening, these guys, you see about, from what you can see, two guys,
Mm-hmm.
one on the left, one on the right. And in the middle, you see this individual.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what basically, let me make sure I got it correct. You got four bodies hanging
Full bodies hanging from the ceiling.
around this guy, and this guy with the blue eyes is in the middle,
Yes.
and he's got a chain.
Yep. There
Okay.
are two guys right beside him. The one in the mask that I showed you before.
Mm-hmm.
There are two of them standing right beside him. Four
Mm-hmm.
guys hanging from chains, and this guy in the middle.
Okay. Chino stops at when he gets to the edge of the room, and he's gonna take a minute, a good minute, and just look around him.
Um, Make me a perception alertness
Okay.
or awareness, primal urge rather.
Primal urge alertness or primal urge perception.
Primal urge perception.
Okay. 4, 10, 3, 7.
10 in the, well, the 10. You understand
Mm-hmm.
that whatever you saw in the Umbra
Mm-hmm.
is somehow, you're not sure. It's,
Mm-hmm.
call it a gut instinct
Mm-hmm.
or a feeling of, I don't know why this makes sense, but this makes sense.
Okay.
Um, the bodies hanging from the ceiling are related.
Related to each other?
Yes.
Okay. As in like ritual wise or like they're cousins?
As in ritualized, as it seems as the longer you look at the bodies,
Mm-hmm.
it's starting to piece together that they were ritually carved for a reason.
Okay. Remembering where the the little pods were,
Mm-hmm.
are they basically where these bodies are hanging?
They're growing out of the bodies.
Okay, so they're the same place
Yes.
where okay, so that makes sense. Okay. All right. Um the guy that I'm supposed to find out about, is that
Mm-hmm.
Blue Eyes here? Because I remember I got a vision of him if I remember correctly.
This is that guy.
This is that guy. Okay. All right. Uh Gino will stop, kind of roll his shoulders. And is there like a is there anything on the floor?
Yes.
Okay, what's on the floor?
Water.
Water. So I'm like, so if I step into the room, I will actually be standing in water.
You'll be standing about ankle deep.
Okay. So he's going to stop at the edge. He's not going to step into that water yet. And he's going to look at this guy. He's going to cross his arms across his chest, and he's go, "You didn't have to go to all this trouble just for me."
He looks at you and sighs. I'm already dead. He looks at you. I realized that when the individual didn't show up yesterday, it all sort of fell into place what was happening.
Hmm. So what is all this?
He kind of sits back, folds his arms. This ritual
Practice.
practice,
Practice generally mean that you getting ready for something. If you already dead, what you getting ready for?
gives you a weird and twisted smile as he walks up to the gentlemen who are kind of cackling,
Uh-huh.
and he will place a hand and on their backs, and their mouths will jet open, and it seems that when their mouths jet open and contort in weird and odd ways,
Mm-hmm.
you've never really seen something quite this disturbing and unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
As it seems that something is racking them from the inside out,
Mm-hmm.
and as it's racking them, it is contorting their bodies in like
Mm-hmm.
weird and undesirable ways. As you can visibly see rib cages like cracking, distorting on themselves, and as this is happening, it seems as if there's a loud crunch
Mm-hmm.
as their backs go into a 90-degree angle,
Mm.
and they kind of stop moving. And he looks at them and kind of shakes his head. Hmm, well, that's not good. Seems they weren't ready. It seems that their bodies weren't prepared yet. Uh, Um, he looks at you and he says, I know why you're here. You want something from me, correct?
He just stares at him.
Kind of gives you this wily sort of smile as his smile becomes a little bit more pronounced and a little bit more visible.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that something a little off about him, not in the way that not in the way that the Fomora you fought last time was, but more so in a well composed way, as in there is a control about him that is quite supernatural.
Is there Do I see any of that black sludge stuff anywhere? And also, is the area where he's standing in the water?
The area that he is standing in the water is he is standing in the water.
He is standing in the water. Okay, I didn't know if he was like in a small area where there wasn't water, or like there was like a moat or whatever, or if okay, so the whole room is covered in water except where I'm standing currently.
Right.
Okay, just making sure. And I don't see any of that black sludge anywhere.
No.
Okay, is that fog in here?
Yes.
Okay,
It's coming off of the bodies.
coming off of the bodies. Okay.
As you see him walking towards you, you see him when somebody's had a psychological break
Mm-hmm.
and they start beating themselves in the face with their fist. He is
Yeah, I've seen
literally
that.
drawing blood on himself.
Okay.
And you see him as he starts beating himself in the face. And he kind of curls into a ball
Mm-hmm.
and starts crying.
Okay. Chino will, when he starts, so he does he like lay down or is he like crouching in a
Crouching.
ball? Crouching. Okay. Listen, Holmes. You're way in over your head. I don't know how you got here. Frankly, I don't much give a shit. But it's time for you to go all Bond villain and tell me what the fuck you trying to do.
As he tries to, he looks at you
Mm-hmm.
and there's something as he's trying to convey something to you.
Mm-hmm.
There is there are weird obtrusions and to his there's real obtrusions and lesions to his body
Uh-huh.
as he is looking you directly in the eyes, his piercing like blue eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks at you.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you what you want to know, what happens to me?
Depend on what you say. I'm not making you no fucking promises. I got nothing to promise you.
He looks at you. There is a desperation in his eyes as
And Tino will raise a hand. Yeah. There is one thing I can promise you. If it go bad, I can make it quick. It gotta be better than this, yo. What kind of life is this? And he kind of raises his hands and spreads them out to indicate the insanity that they're standing in.
mhm. He looks at you and he lets you know I can't tell you, even if I wanted to tell you.
Then why you even ask the question?
For you to even be in here, you have to be something. Something else. As he says something else, you see like a small you see a bruise appear on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Look like you running out of time, homie. Tell me what you doing here.
And then he says, "You're going to have to break it out of me."
With that chino kind of size. Well, breaking things seem to be what I do, Holmes. You seem like this not what you wanted. You seem like this not the place you wanted to be. I don't think this a place anybody want to be.
I wanted a lot of things for me. As you can see him talking, and you see more like as he starts to talk,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that he's in like an awful amount of pain, but he's still keeping that stoic look.
Yeah. It seemed like from what happened to you, I not have to break anything out of you. It about to come out whether you or me like it or not. So it
No,
up to you, Blue Eyes. How you live the last few seconds of your life.
tells
You
you
wanna
no.
you wanna be a slave?
It's not about that.
Then tell
Me
me what it's
talking
about.
to you like this is why this is happening.
Hmm.
In all aspects, I should be killing you right now.
Well, Holmes, we in the same boat there. And he kind of gestures between the two of them like he's indicating they're in the.
Hmm.
I should have killed you the minute I fucking walked down this fucking hallway.
And then you won't know the information I have to tell you.
And Chino smiles and he'll actually wink at him with his one eye.
I knew you weren't stupid.
Hmm.
Kind of gives you a cocky grin.
So, obviously, this the end for you.
No shit.
But I can make it fast for you.
It won't be fast.
I might be able to take a message for you.
Highly unlikely. Highly improbable.
So, I want to know. I know you want to tell me. But there's something there that you haven't said yet. So say it.
I can't say it. You have enigmas? Damn, Chino. You
Arun,
have,
hello.
I know. You have what knowledges you have right now, bro?
Academics, computer, investigation, law, science, rituals, medicine.
Give me intelligence rituals.
Okay. Can I spend a willpower?
You may.
Okay. 1 for the willpower. Then I have a 10 and 2 3s.
All right. So with 2 successes, you understand that you don't know much about rituals. Rituals is not your department. That's Katori's department.
I know they exist.
You know that they exist. You understand that there's something happening
Right.
to this man that is out of his control,
Yep.
and that with the 10 in there, you understand that the more he's standing here talking to you like this and staying his hand, um, you've seen a punishment, right? Right. So
Yep.
he is being punished for his lack of
Lack of action.
action.
Okay.
You also notice that when he goes to tell you things, his abrasions get more severe. However, in that moment of pain, there are glimpses of things he needs. Things come out.
Okay. Glimpses of things like that he's not supposed to be telling me.
Exactly.
Okay. What am I noticing of these things that are coming out?
It's important, crucial information.
Okay. But that's what I'm asking. You haven't described any of these things to me.
I know. I'm doing it for a reason. I'm trying to make
Okay. No, that's fine. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something.
You're not missing anything. It's
Okay.
like the stumbling and him not like finishing sentences. That's literally the pain that he's in. So make it clear for you.
Okay. Chino's gonna sigh. You seem like okay guy.
I'm a shit person.
Yeah. You say that. Everybody got problems. Everybody a shit person, as you say. One day. Next day, they're not. It's all about your choices. You're the one who choose to be here. You're the one that choose to talk to me now. People are either bad person or they're not. It's up to you. Right now, you're choosing not to be. You're talking to me. You're trying to be.
Looks at you. Eyes look unremarkably sad. Come get what you came for. He looks you like deadpan in the eyes.
Chino sighs. He looks at him. He takes a fist and he smacks himself on the chest. I honor your bravery, yo. And for that, I give you this. So that when you die, whatever did this to you, they'd know who was here. He kind of swells up.
Mm.
And he'll spend a rage.
Mm.
And he will change into Krynos. Right there in front of the guy.
Doesn't move, doesn't falter.
I'm sure. He'll take his fingers, or his claws. He'll rake them across the concrete.
Mm.
To initiate razor claws.
Right.
He'll kind of raise himself to his full Krynos height.
Mm-hmm.
I am Banebreaker. Arun. Uktena. He kind of smacks himself in the chest with his fist. I honor your bravery. And I say, fuck you, puta, to the worm that did this to you. And he'll spend 2 rage and charge.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to play this out or if you want to do this narratively. It's up to you.
It's narratively.
Okay. Chino's basically going to rip the guy open, looking to find out why he's here. You know,
All right. So,
he will be Uktena, I guess you'd say about it, Uktena Arun. He's going to be careful killing the guy, basically. Um,
okay.
he will. I would say what he would do is he would go for a killing stroke to kill him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he will look for. You know what I mean?
All
Because
right.
he promised the guy he would try to make it quick,
Mm-hmm.
and Chino's a man of his word.
Okay.
So probably like a claw to the throat to rip
All
his
right.
throat out, which would kill him.
Okay.
And then once the body falls, um, once the body falls,
Mm-hmm.
Chino's going to grab the body, still in Krynos,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to walk back over to the ritual,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to start looking and seeing how the ritual is reacting now that this body is dead,
All right. So, um,
or what he thinks is dead.
few things happen
Okay.
when you go and claw at the body. It is met with a supernatural hardiness as your claws hit him and they dig in,
Mm-hmm.
and you see the intrusions pop out on his skin as like you're putting your hands in silly putty, in the way you can see the indents and the intrusions of your own fingers. That's the way it looks on his skin.
Is it the same as the guy that was in the back seat of the car?
Different.
Okay.
As you do that,
Mm-hmm.
he lets you know that he was part of a cult. And as you kind of try to rip out another part of his basically rip out a part of his throat,
Mm-hmm.
you take out a chunk,
Mm-hmm.
but for some reason it's still holding. He is
Okay.
like alive.
Okay.
And he says that he is a part of a cult.
Mm-hmm.
A cult, no, it's a cult of despair, right?
Cult of the what? I'm sorry.
Cult of despair.
Despair. Okay.
And that he wanted to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start clawing in at him like again and again, right? There should be more like damage being done to this man,
Mm-hmm.
because you've seen things go down.
Uh-huh.
But whatever it is, the amount of pain that you're inflicting on him is like you claw into him and you dig into him. He screams out, but in those screams, in that like moment of torture that he's going into, he lets you know that he was part of this cult. It's the cult of despair. He wanted to be a part, like how fucked up his life was, how he wanted so much more for his life, and that he made bad decisions, wrong decisions, that the life that he was living
Mm-hmm.
was something that he thought was right at the time he was making the decision. And he lets you know that this is when his life started to change. He started to he starts talking about Gabrielle and about how
Gabrielle is the crackhead that he
yeah,
likes, correct? Okay.
and that he had no idea that he had someone that he could care about, someone that was essentially his kin, that fruit of his loins, if you will. And as this is happening, he says that he was part of the strike team, that when he ran, that the Red Suns, they, as you start digging into him,
Mm-hmm.
he it's getting hard for him to talk. As you're like getting to like the really, really good stuff, the stuff that like you
Yeah.
promised to Uktena,
Uh-huh.
When you dig into him, you see his arm snap back into his like into the socket and
Okay.
kind of get ripped off
Okay.
as the body is trying to maim him before the secrets get out.
Okay. Uh, Chino will, I guess you'd say, slow his roll. um, and he'll start trying to, actually, he's going to take one of the Gaia's breath that Katori gave him and pop it right there in the guy's face to
You
slow it down.
you pop it in his face and he screams out as you pop the talon, right?
Mm-hmm.
This should be healing him. You see
It's
like
making it worse. Shit.
scorch marks on him, but
Uh-huh.
like it's mending. But
Right.
you see like the scorch marks appearing on
Sure.
his body, and he starts talking about that he was the liaison, that
Mm-hmm.
he sent weapons and arms and to like supply them, to equip them,
To the Red
like
Suns?
hmm
Okay.
that he supplied them. Is that when he ran, this is what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the only way out. This was the only way they would leave him alone with his daughter, right? Is that if he did this. And as he starts like explaining this, you see his chest like split open and you see pus and viscous mucus like spill out of him.
Uh-huh.
And like he screams out again, and then you see, oh, we'll let you pop another guy's breath to keep him alive.
Okay. He will do so. Um, is Gabrielle his daughter?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What were you doing here?
He looks at you with those like sad eyes, like it takes courage to live, and I wanted to live. He said he looks at you, it's like I know it's stupid
Mm-hmm.
and wrong and idiotic. I wanted to live.
So is this ritual going to keep you alive forever?
He kind of looks at you saying like he wish he could comprehend what you're telling him,
Uh-huh.
but like from beating the shit out of people and your one dot of medicine,
Right.
when
Right.
people start taking too much damage like to the body,
Yeah.
they start blacking out.
Yeah, he's getting punch drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
amazing that he's like even standing here like withstanding this. But yeah.
Okay. Uh, Chino will kind of grab his face and kind of, as, I guess you'd say as well as he can with Krino's paws. He's just gonna, kind of pat his face. Say, hey, stay with me. Tell me. Keep going. You almost there.
And he says there's a route as he starts coughing up blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's on his last legs, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this entrance. You can go. You can stop this. Um,
Where this? Where?
he he starts coughing and splurting out information
Mm-hmm.
as he gives you the location of a worship chamber
Okay.
and gives you a location to the best of his ability.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he utters that, his body literally splits open and pops.
Okay. Chino's gonna try to dive backwards, get away from that.
All right.
He's
When
been
you
around
see
that
his,
shit before.
all right. When you see his body pop,
Uh-huh.
when you see like the body literally starting to tear from the seams, how many guys breath do you have?
She gave him, or I think he gave him 4. Let me make sure.
How many do you have? It's important.
So let me make sure. Hold on. Let's see. I think you're gonna have to check Damien's blue booking, but let me make sure. He may have sent it to me in a PM. 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Katori gave him 10.
Fair enough. All right, I will say that you can pop for narrative purposes.
Mm-hmm.
You can pop two,
Okay.
and you can stop him from basically rip. You see that he's about to literally come apart at the seams.
Okay.
You can spend two to like withhold the process.
Okay.
Now, you have your Dedic memory.
I do.
Lieutenant said you wanted his heart.
Okay.
With this, you will be able to keep him alive long enough before he goes pop to claim the heart.
Okay. All right. This was a ritual, so I'm assuming there's an altar.
Yes.
Chino's going to go over to. He's going to drag him over to the altar.
Mm-hmm.
Before he puts him on it, he's going to pop a Gaia's breath on the altar, just because he doesn't understand how cleansing works, and he thinks that might cleanse it.
All right. Now, when you walk over to the guy's breath, right, and you pop it,
Okay.
you feel like this very wild, almost wild energy, right, get unleashed from the talon, right? This like rush of like energy,
Mm-hmm.
and as you pop it, the altar that's being used
Uh-huh.
sort of crumbles because it's been touched in such a way
Uh-huh.
by like this by this darkness, right?
Right.
So, but this guy right now, right, he is screaming in pain, but he is holding it together, right?
Okay.
Now, last hand I'm going to give you.
Okay.
You do have kinfolk outside,
Yep.
and you also are semi close to where you need to be, where you set up like this safe house.
Uh-huh.
What is Chino going to do?
So do I feel like I could keep this guy alive?
With the amount of guy's breath you have, it is a distinct possibility. But he will how pain drunk this guy is, he won't be, he's clocked out.
Uh-huh. Okay.
If you're
All right.
doing that in medicine, you understand that.
Okay. So do I feel like that I need to take the guy's heart for Uktena?
Right.
Am I feeling like I shouldn't do that here?
You feel distinctly that you should not do this here.
Okay. All right. That's okay. Fair enough. Chino's going to cradle the guy and lift him up,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's gonna ball ass run as fast as he can to get out of here.
Make me a Dex Athletics.
Sure. Let's see, Dex. I'm in Krenos. Yay. Extra Dex. And then Athletics. Okay, does my Dex specialization lightning reflexes? No, I'm running. Never mind.
Yes, it actually does count.
Oh, it does count. Okay.
So what's about to happen now?
So I have 5 successes then.
Right. So as you go a bolt with him, you see like the guys that were hanging from the chains,
Mm-hmm.
their bodies kind of burst open. And like you see like these tentacles go to reach for like this guy that should in all instances
Okay.
dead.
Uh-huh.
They go to reach for him, and you dodge and you weave and you twist like to like move. And as you do that, and as you start running, the it seems that this was sort of on a timer, and as they stretch out, they sort of start to catch fire.
Okay.
And looking behind you, they turn to ash.
Okay. All right, he's still gonna ball ass out of here.
Ball ass. All right.
Yeah, he's getting the fuck out of here.
All right. As you're bawling ass, you notice that. Make me a perception alertness.
Okay. 7373.
You notice that the fog is starting to dissipate, and that the headache that you currently have is starting to,
Fade.
fade.
Okay. Carrying dude as well as he can.
Mm-hmm.
He will spend a rage to shift down to Glabro.
Okay.
So that he maintains the strength, but is no longer a raging werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Before he hits the street.
Okay.
He will. So it'll look like a guy carrying a guy bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once he kicks open the door to go outside, he's going to start yelling because there should be kinfolk within distance to get the car here.
Mm-hmm.
They pull up in the car. He's going to put the guy in the back seat. He's going to hop in with him, and they are going to take off. And they're going to go to. Remember when we first started the warehouse that he had them create for him?
Mm-hmm.
Can I make it there? Do I think I can make it there? Or is it too close?
Make me roll me 4 fate dice.
Okay. 2 nulls and 2 pluses.
All right. 2 nulls or 2 blanks?
2 blanks, I'm sorry.
2 blanks. All right. 2 blanks and 2 pluses. All right. You break a few traffic violations, obviously. But you don't kill anyone in like the rush.
That's positive.
You don't attract any police attention.
Okay.
Because they're booking ass. But It's one of those ones, like, since you're in this particular part of the neighborhood, it's kind of a commonplace to see somebody like breaking traffic violations and shit like that.
Right.
Nobody pays too much attention to it. To the franticness that's currently happening.
I got you. Okay. While they're going, he is calling kinfolk and telling them to get this place ready.
Mm-hmm. As you're in the back seat with him, you see like the left side of his arm start to twist and decay almost instantly as blood is like pus and blood. It hits you like on your chest and take 1 point of lethal damage.
Okay. I'm in Glabro still, so can I soak?
Yeah.
Okay. +2. I soak 2.
All right, cool. So as you run in, your kinfolks are with you. Everybody's kind of hustling and hauling ass.
Yep.
You make it inside of the place, right? And since you took special time to set this part aside, please make for me. Yeah, give me a dex medicine.
Okay.
Let's see if you actually keep the heart intact.
It is meant to be by Uktena. I have a 6, a 4, 2 10s, and a 2.
Fucking Uktena must like you or something. Anyway.
Yeah, imagine that.
So
I've sacrificed half my body to him. What do you expect?
Yeah. So you dig your hand like into his chest cavity, going through rib cage. Bone shards are sticking into your skin. It is highly painful, as you're usually supposed to do this surgically and properly, but not like just jamming your fist into his chest like Kali Ma style. As you jam your fist in, take 3 points of lethal.
Okay.
As you're just literally ripping shards and bone shards in your hand.
Sure. I'm not going to soak. He's going to take it. It's part of the ritual.
Fair enough. And as you rip out his heart, you kind of you hear him gasp. You hear "thank you," and then you hear like a pop. a little like a gushy pop, like
Right.
something wet just exploded,
Uh-huh.
and you are roll me a fate dice.
Okay. It's a plus.
All right, so you're not deafened by it.
Oh,
Um,
trying to make me blind and deaf? What the heck?
almost. If I had my way, you'd be blind and deaf and like mute, but whatever. Can't have everything. So, as you do this, you take out his heart. He
Mhm.
pops like almost, but his heart it's still there, and you
Uh-huh.
feel like you are running out of time.
Okay. Um, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay. He will, he promised the heart to Uktena.
Hmm.
So he is going to call into his recollection the ritual that he saw um, his ancestors do.
Okay.
And he is going to repeat it as quickly as possible. And he is
Uh,
going to sacrifice this heart to Uktena.
Give me a wits rituals threshold of 2, diff 9.
I have a 9, a 7, and a 3.
All right. You feel in your haste that you have fucked up somewhere in the middle,
Uh huh.
but as you speak these words, a the heart that you sacrifice kind of pops
Okay.
and shrivels
Mm-hmm.
and dust.
Okay.
You feel as this is happening, right,
Mm-hmm.
you're covered in blood. It hurts. Your hand
Mm-hmm.
hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Everything hurts. It's almost like a blinding pit of pain and
Mm-hmm.
record pain and suffering.
Mm-hmm. He
Um,
will he will
you,
fall down to his knees and just kind of lean back in that like that end of Platoon where he kind of leans back on his knees and kind of sends his arms out, and he's just, I mean, he's just totally drained.
uh,
Like you said, he's covered in blood and he's beat up, and I mean, he's disfigured now and everything, and he just kind of lays back. He kind of sits back on his ass and starts taking deep breaths, closes his eyes, and raises his face to the sky.
as you raise your face to the sky, maybe you're delusional from like the amount of blood that you've obviously lost, and you're not sure. Like you're in like this haze in your head. You see this gentleman that you've seen before. He's standing over you. He's laughing, and it's like this guttural, almost incoherent, hearty laugh, and you kind of see him hoot and like throw up his arms, almost in excitement. He puts his hand on your shoulder, tells you you can distinctly understand him.
Okay.
Well done.
Chino will open his eyes, and like I said, he can't tell if the guy's there or not, but he would like to think that he is.
Mhm,
And he'll say in Spanish,
mhm.
because I assume he's speaking to him in Spanish.
Yep.
Um, I tell you, all that Chino is, all that is Banebreaker, is Uktena's.
at that moment when you say that, um, you feel a connection, a very, very strong connection to Tenna that you've never felt before. Well, I'll tell you what that is at a later date.
Sure. With that, Chino will almost kind of collapse forward onto his hands and knees. A huge smile goes across his face.
Mm-hmm.
He'll make his way to his feet. Is the guy still standing there, or is he gone?
You're not sure.
I can't see him.
It's one of those things where once you've drunk enough and like you think you saw the Trix rabbit, but you're not sure. Yeah, that's kind of like what it is right now.
Okay. He smiles, and he will he will start to look at look where the guy was standing, and he's gonna kind of call, thinking that the guy's there. He's because he never told him
He didn't, for reasons. I'm building plot for you, bro.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying he's gonna say, "What do I call you?"
Just looks at you and smiles. It was like, you think like, all right. Chino thinks he's talking to this man.
Yes, he does.
May or may not be.
Right.
Outside, you hear your kinfolk calling for you. It's like, bro, you okay? What's going on? It's just like they just hear you like screaming out in Spanish. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They just hear you like saying shit, and they're just like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like you hear beating on the shed. Is like they're getting excited and exasperated.
Mm-hmm.
So proceed as you see fit.
Okay.
You ask him like, what's your name? And he looks at you. And he says, you already know who I am. Let me ask you this, Banebrick. Are you willing to walk down this road?
Chino looks at him. "'Tis the road I must walk. Chino will walk it."
He looks at you and he says, kind of gives you this crooked smile. Chino took Spanish as a language, correct?
He did.
Is that like, this is important because of the gutturalness of it. I want to be saying how much Chino can actually understand. Did he take English as a second language or English as the primary language? Which one? Which way was it?
Let me make sure. Let me see here. I think he took English as the secondary.
All right, so
Let me make sure though. Let me make sure. Hold
okay.
on. Spanish is primary.
Spanish is primary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Spanish being the primary, you understand that he tells you his name,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in your head, you're trying to make sense of it.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, but it's one of those. There's like there is stateside Spanish and like motherland Spanish,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
and and you're just like, you think you heard it. It's starting to click.
But it hadn't clicked yet.
It hasn't clicked yet.
I got you.
It's like one of those things. It's like it's on like the tip of your tongue. It's just like
Uh-huh.
if you said it, it was just like, no, that's not right. Like you're trying to like think it out and sound it out, but there's too much of like a disconnect to the watered down Spanish that you speak and the Spanish that they speak.
Hmm. Yep. Okay. But I can remember it.
You can remember it.
Okay.
You remember the sound, the inflection of what he said,
Hmm.
but as far as like the exact name,
Hmm.
you're going to have to do some more
Sure.
digging because you can't make the connection yet.
Okay. No problem. All right. With that, he's going to kind of incline his head a little bit in a gesture of respect.
Hmm. All right,
Um,
your kinfolk bust in,
uh-huh.
and like they're trying to pick you up. Like, are you standing or are you on the floor?
He's standing at this point.
They're like hitting you in the face,
Mhm.
like trying to get you out of it because like you're just like standing there, like covered like in blood, like mumbling into the ether,
Hmm.
and they're like hitting you in the face, like, bro, wake up, the fuck, like,
He
and
blinks a couple of times. He says, "Yo, you smack me one more time, and I'm gonna give you a beating."
the fuck is he's like exasperated. He's looking at you, and he's like, the fuck. Who are you talking to?
And then he's gonna do that, that fake lunge thing, like at the guy.
And he backs up. He lets you go. Like the fuck. And he's looking at the what?
Chino's gonna kind of smile. He's gonna say, "It's graduation day, yo." He's gonna kind of grab the guy. He's gonna pull him into a hug. He's gonna and then he'll kind of pull him back, and he'll say, "Tonight we party, yo."
You
They kind
see,
of grab the guy and smack him on the face and say,
you see like lots of hooting and hollering, and it is one of those like when I say all of your kinfolk cheer, that block shakes, and everybody they're on cars, they're hooting and hollering in Spanish. You see lights click on like in the surrounding neighborhood. You're like, the fuck? Like you just see people looking out like the fuck is this? And yeah. And then they kind of look at you and they was just like, it's okay, it's okay. And they was like, the fuck it is. It's 3 a.m. Fuck you.
Chino's gonna kind of, okay, we don't need the fucking police to show up, all right? All right, let's get the fuck out of here. I gotta go take a fucking shower.
All right, cool. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we can end the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been a scene for Living World of Darkness, Werewolf Venue.